Hello everybody, I am Gamemaster909, back with another Gamemaster909 Plays. Today, I will be playing the 2008 Nintendo published Wii game, Mario Kart Wii. So, of course, this is a game I've already 100%ed before, so I may as well start a new save file. A new Mario Kart Wii license will be created. So we're going to have to go through this whole process. So, of course, like many first-party Wii games, this game utilizes the Miis of the Wii. You know, the customizable avatars that you can make that are used in a plethora of games on the system, including this one. A new license will be created for GM909. Is that okay? Yes. Your new license is ready. Licenses pretty much represent save files, which I think is kind of clever. If the Mii that you just chose is deleted from the Mii channel, the Mii that you were using in Mario Kart Wii will also be deleted. Please be careful. Okay. Alright, and one thing you may notice in the background is that there is a default title screen for this game that is seen straight from the start of the game. However, because I've 100% of the game on the save file before, or on this console before, I unlocked the alternate title screens, which, if one file unlocks it, it is shown to all files pretty much, or just on the system in general, which I find kind of interesting. But yeah, just kind of as a spoiler, one of the things you can unlock by 100%ing the game is alternate title screens. Now you know. And so we get a whole bunch of options when first starting up the game on the main menu. You can change your save file if you want. You have different multiplayer modes. You have to manually pick 2, 3, or 4 players. That's odd. And there's also Nintendo WFC or Wi-Fi connection where you play online, and the Mario Kart channel where you can look at other online features. We'll start with single player. And even on single player, we get 4 options, with Grand Prix, a 4-track race for first place, Time Trials, race yourself for the fastest record, Versus, race using custom rules, or Battle, where you can battle in teams. We may as well do Grand Prix, which is pretty much the main mode of the game, and is where you'll pretty much unlock the most stuff. We have 3 engine classes, with the CC on each of them standing for custom class. We have 50cc, 100cc, and 150cc. Later on, there is a 4th custom class that we can unlock. For now, we may as well start with 50cc, which is karts only. That's one of the new features of Mario Kart Wii. Rather than just having karts, this game now has both karts and bikes as selectable vehicles. We have 50cc, a Grand Prix for beginners, karts only. Alright, we start out with 12 playable characters, with some familiar faces such as Mario, Yoshi, Peach, Wario, Donkey Kong, all the greats. There's also some new characters for Mario Kart Wii, such as Baby Peach, who is, in this game, new to the Mario Kart series. So that's pretty cool. We may as well start out with the main man himself, Mario. Now, for now, we only have 3 karts to select out of the, should I say, 36 selectable karts or selectable vehicles in this game. And considering this is karts only, we only have the 3 starter karts, with Standard Kart, Classic Dragster, and Wild Wing. Now you may notice the stats on the left. Now, of course, for the Standard Kart, they're all kind of equal. You have speed, which is pretty much the max speed that the vehicle can go at. The weight, pretty self-explanatory. The weight of the kart, pretty much how easy is it for, pretty much how much distance will you get launched if someone hits you. Acceleration, pretty much how quickly does the kart reach max speed. Handling, pretty much how it handles, how well it turns, and stuff like that. Drift, that's pretty much how well it's able to, what's the word? Skid across the track? It's probably not the right word. Off-road, pretty much how well does it handle off-road. And mini turbo, pretty much how much of a mini turbo does your kart build up by drifting. We may as well start out with the standard kart. I don't know what that was. Anyways, for drifting, we actually have two different options, automatic and manual. Now, automatic lets you pretty much automatically drift whenever you turn. Yeah, drift automatically. No mini turbos, unfortunately. So that's one of the advantages of manual. It's where you pretty much hold the B button, or I believe the Z button while using Wii Remote and Nunchuck, or the R button when using either Classic Controller or GameCube Controller. And you are able to do mini turbo, so pretty much it's superior in every way. You even get this little help menu to help you out when picking. When you turn, you won't slow down. And with manual drifting, you're actually able to hop, which is pretty cool, which can be really useful in some cases. Keep drifting at a speed boost, a mini turbo. We may as well do the manual drifting. Anyways, we have 4 cups to choose from. We may as well start out with the Mushroom Cup, containing Luigi Circuit, Moo Moo Meadows, Mushroom Gorge, and Toad's Factory. Let's begin. And here we are with Luigi Circuit. Pretty much your standard racetrack that's themed around with Mario's titular brother Luigi. Alright, so that's one thing to note. Whenever you start the race, you actually, of course, get a countdown. And you can actually time when you start accelerating in order to get a boost from the very beginning, which it's right after when the 2 shows up. So, yeah, Mario Kart Wii is the 6th installment of the Mario Kart games. Pretty much a spin-off to the Super Mario platforming series, which I think everyone knows. Now, of course, the goal of the game, all of that game, I guess, for each track is pretty simple. Just try to get first place and outrun all the opposing racers, which this is actually the first Mario Kart game to where each track or each race will actually have up to 12 players in total. Previous Mario Kart games just had 8 racers on the track. And so Tomatoes all these items. Of course, this is a staple of the Mario Kart games, with different items that can be grabbed by running through item boxes. Items such as the fake item box is seen here, which looks different to the normal item box, but can be placed anywhere. And if a person runs into the fake item box, they will be stunned and not be able to move for a while. And I got another one. And so the items, apparently someone ran into it, great. The items you get actually is dependent on what place you are in. So if you're in a higher place, you will get more defensive items. Whereas if you're in a later place, you will get more offensive items. And there we go, we got first. And so for this race, we got 15 points, pretty much showing our overall average ranking within the entire cup. It'll also show you your total time on the first result screen. Alright, so we can move on to the next race, or we can view a replay of the race. I don't know why you would want to do that, but hey, it's there. Alright, second track is Moo Moo Meadows. Nice little farmland with some cows. Oh boy. by the way, you can actually press the A button on the Wii Remote on its side, or I believe the C button on Wii Remote and Nunchuck, and the X button on Classic Controller, or I believe the Y button on GameCube Controller, I could be wrong about that, to look behind you, so you can see exactly where opposing races are in comparison to you. At least ones that are behind you. Now you may notice that I have a banana behind me. You can actually hold certain items behind you to use more defensively. Or you could simply throw them to use them offensively, either ahead of you or behind you. With the Wii Remote on its side, this is done with the D-pad. And I believe... I forget exactly how you do it on the Wii Remote and Nunchuck. I probably should have looked into all the button layouts before recording this. By the way, I'm playing through this game with the Wii Remote on its side. It's pretty much the control method that I grew up with. Pretty much how I always played this game. Yeah, I don't think I ever mentioned that. This game has 4 different control methods, with the Wii Remote on its side, to where you could pretty much tilt the Wii Remote to steer, which was kind of one of the game's main selling points when it originally came out in 2008. You can also play the game with the Wii Remote and the Nunchuck attachment, where you can use the Nunchuck's analog stick to steer. You can also play the game with the Wii Remote the Wii Classic Controller, which you can plug into the Wii Remote, and get all sorts of buttons to use, along with a second control stick, which in this game does nothing. You can also play the game with a GameCube controller, which you can plug into on the top of the Wii system. And there we go, we got a time of 2 minutes and 8 seconds on that track. Alright, on to the next race. Oh, so yeah, that course actually had cows that you could run into and be stunned. I don't know why I said that like you would want to do that. You should probably avoid them as much as you can. Anyways, here's the next track, Mushroom Gorge. You may notice all the mushrooms in the track. That's pretty much this stage's whole gimmick, where there are mushrooms that you can bounce off of. This was always one of my favorites as a kid. There we go. We got a green shell. Green shells are items that you could pretty much, of course, throw ahead of you or behind you, and are pretty much a straight shooter to where if you throw them, they will travel straight forward. Just like that. And of course, another racer will spin out if they are hit with one. We also have the banana peels. Banana peels were pretty much, you could lay them down and they will stay there. If someone else runs into them, they will spin out. Or if just a racer in general, it could be you. You could timely run over your own banana peels if you wanted. Or if you do it on accident. You can even get 3 bananas. So that's pretty cool, which will all be behind you like this. And as you've seen before, you could hold items behind you in order to block other items that opponents might throw at you. You may notice all these tricks I'm doing. That is another new addition to Mario Kart Wii. So where if you're, say, driving off of a ramp, or in this case, mushrooms, oh, come on. Come on, Waluigi. You're not gonna beat me this time, are you? Anyways, what I just got hit by was a spiny shell. The spiny shell is an item that heads straight for the player in first place. And once it does reach the player in first place, it will pretty much strike them and shoot them down to where it'll cause an explosion to where the first place player will pretty much spin out in the air, causing you to most likely fall behind in the race. And there is no way to dodge a blue shell, so that's great. That wouldn't be the case until the 8th Mario Kart game, Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U. And there we go. With a total time of 2 minutes and 40 seconds. On to the final race of the Mushroom Cup. Which is Toad's Factory. You may already notice all these conveyor belts going on in this track. That's pretty much this track's whole gimmick. Along with a whole bunch of other things. So this track might be the closest we'll get to an explanation for how the item boxes across Mario Kart are made. Which I think is kind of fun. It's a fun concept for a track. That this kind of gives us some, I guess you could say, Mario Kart lore. To where like, oh, this is where the item boxes come from. I think that's a lot of fun. While also being a track on its own, of course. With all these conveyor belts. With the green conveyor belts pretty much causing you to go faster, while the red conveyor belts slow you down. In order to do a trick in this game, you pretty much have to shake the Wii Remote, if you're using the Wii Remote, on its side, or with the nunchuck, or I believe, oddly enough, the D-pad, if you're using a GameCube controller or a classic controller. Which is odd because it pretty much requires you to, you know, shift to your left thumb, which can get pretty annoying. You may also notice the POW block above me. That's one of the items that a person in later places can use to affect all players ahead of them. Which will pretty much stun all the players after the POW block does this whole animation. And it'll also cause all the players to lose the items that they are holding. Now, if you actually time your shaking of the Wii Remote correctly, dang it, that was weird. Anyways. If you time your shaking of the Wii Remote or pressing of the directional pad correctly, you can actually dodge the POW block, kind of, to where you won't spin out and slow down, but you'll still lose all your items. So pretty much no matter what, if a POW block hits you, you'll lose your items, which can get pretty annoying. Now the POW block is actually a new item to Mario Kart Wii, and it was never brought back. You can kind of see why, just from my explanation. Also, if you pay attention to the music, you may know that it's pretty much a tradition of the Mario Kart games to where on the third lap of a track, or the last lap of a track, pretty much, the music will start to speed up. Kind of, you know, driving the tension. There we go. We got first place by quite a large margin. Yeah, beat them by a whole 9 seconds. There we go. We got 60 points, which is pretty much the maximum points you could get in a Grand Prix. Alright. So we can go to next, which will pretty much show us our final results. So we get this whole cutscene showing the top 3 players drive to victory. there's Lakitu. And you'll even see the other players on the left and right kind of cheer us on, pretty much, which is kind of cool. And there we go, we got first place. And so yeah, on the top right, we'll actually get a rank for how well we did, which we got the top rank we could get, 3 gold stars. You could also get ranks of like A, B, C, D, and E, along with 1 gold star, 2 gold stars, and 3 gold stars like we got here. And so yeah, there we go. And we're brought back to the menu screen. May as well head back to 50cc. We may as well play as a different character this time.
Oh yeah, Luigi!
How about Luigi? Good old Luigi. We'll also pick a different kart this time, the classic dragster, which has more acceleration than speed, and also has a pretty good mini turbo, but not a great top speed or off-road. Alright, time to move on to the Flower Cup, with the tracks Mario Circuit, Coconut Mall, DK Summit, and Wario's Gold Mine. Oh, by the way, if you're using the Wii Remote, or I believe the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, not only can you select stuff with the D-pad while with the Wii Remote on the side, but you can also hold the Wii Remote vertically to select stuff with the pointer. That's kind of cool. But I don't know why I would want to do that, but it's there as an option. But of course you have to go back to the horizontal Wii Remote, at least if you have just the Wii Remote, when actually playing the game. We as well start the Flower Cup. With our first track, Mario Circuit. We even have a Chain Chomp over there that will kind of bark at us and charge towards us if we get close to it. So we're going to have to watch out for it. Also, you can actually get like a little boost if you drive directly behind another player. And there's a little indicator for it. And so we actually got the mushroom item. Using it allows you to get a little speed boost, which can be used for shortcuts in the tracks. And here's the Thundercloud. This is another new item for Mario Kart Wii, where pretty much it's actually an item that does not help yourself. Rather, what you're supposed to do with it is that you're supposed to give it to another player by pretty much hitting them to where the Thundercloud would be given to them. However, after a certain time limit, the Thundercloud will actually shrink the player that has it. So, yeah, if you're not near anybody, you're pretty much screwed if you get the Thundercloud. Anyways, in my hand, or behind... Uh-oh. Great. Also, yeah, watch out if there's... Okay. So, what Bowser just got was the star item. For a limited amount of time, it will grant you invincibility, to where you can pretty much run into anything and it'll not hurt you. We also got triple green shells. Unlike the triple bananas, the triple green shells will actually spin around your car. So, yeah, it's not going to always be behind you, so you're still pretty vulnerable. Especially if you just have one left over. So yeah, especially right there, the left, going to the left side of the road, or the outer part of it, is probably key for that to not get hit by that chain jump. Unless you have a mushroom, where you can just take the shortcut. Now there are actually two different variations of the mini turbo, pretty much two stages of it, with blue sparks and orange sparks. Only karts have orange sparks, where it pretty much, you'll build it up for longer and get an even larger mini turbo. And so there we go. We got a time of 2 minutes and 26 seconds on that track. And now we shall move on to the next one. Anyways, here's our next track, Coconut Mall. A fan favorite from my knowledge. It was always one of my favorites, I'll admit. Because it takes place in a mall. And we have some gimmicks in here relating to malls, such as right ahead of us, escalators. Of course, like escalators in real life, you'll have one that goes up and one that goes down. Pretty much the one that goes up will speed you up and the one that goes down will slow you down. Pretty self-explanatory there. And the directions of them will actually change depending on the lap number, to where pretty much they will swap in during lap 2. And they'll alternate again during lap 3. We even have this huge ramp with the sign, "Have a nice day," of course. We got a whole bunch of Piantas cheering us on. So I'm guessing this has like an Isle Delfino theme. Isle Delfino is the island that Mario visits in the game Super Mario Sunshine for the GameCube. And yeah, here we are with the up escalator now being on the left of the entrance, or in the entrance. We also have a fountain in the middle, which we could trick off of. You can even trick off of the sides of the escalators. Uh-oh. Well, at least I got rid of the banana out of us. Anyways, there's actually another path we could go down. With this one over here, which has a lower ramp compared to the top floor. I don't know why you would want to take the path, but it's there. You also have these cars, which will kind of swerve forward and backwards. You will spin out if you run into them. And so yeah, another way this game uses the Miis is that across these tracks, you will actually see your Miis cheer you on. And in this track, you'll actually see your Miis on some of the posters across the track, which can be kind of fun to gawk at. Like we got a hamburger Mii on that poster. That's pretty funny. Now, of course, all of these are Miis that I actually have on my system, so that's why there's a bunch of random Miis. Like, I believe earlier you might have seen a Mii in one of the crowds of Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. So yeah, stuff like that. I got a lot of weird Miis on my system, so... Like, yeah, there's a Luigi Mii, what do you know? Along with some other oddballs that we'll probably see across this game. Anyways, we're done. He sure is. Alright, total time is 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Third track of Flower Cup is DK Summit, or DK Snowboard Cross if you're playing the European version of the game. I always found it weird that it has a different title over there. Yeah. Oh well. So pretty much this track pretty much takes place at I guess a ski resort, although it's more snowboard themed than anything. especially with the giant statue of Mario right there on a snowboard. So pretty much this track's whole gimmick is that you just saw we just got launched out of a cannon onto the top of a mountain to where you pretty much drive down it. That's pretty cool. It's pretty similar to a track from Mario Kart Double Dash for the GameCube called DK Mountain, to where it's pretty much the same concept, but we drive down a volcano. You're gonna hear me say that a lot, by the way, of this game is this part of this game is similar to Mario Kart Double Dash. This game, oddly enough, borrows a lot from Mario Kart Double Dash specifically. Even down to some of the character models being directly ripped from it. Like Luigi's, I believe, is being the same model from Mario Kart Double Dash. I get that the GameCube and Wii are similar power-wise, but come on, Nintendo. Whatever. It's not that big of a deal. I think visually this game still kind of has its own identity compared to Double Dash. Kind of, though. The two games look really similar, and yeah, there's a lot of reasons why. Now you may notice those pads with those blue pads with white arrows. Those indicate half pipes that you can trick off of, like this. Well, I'm not able to do a trick. There we go. I did a trick there. See, that's another thing, of course, new to Mario Kart Wii alongside the tricks. Another blue shell? Anyways, that's pretty cool. So yeah, it's a fun way to get some extra speed. Alright. Into the cannon we go. And yeah, this track is littered with half pipes all around it. A lot of tracks, especially the new tracks in this game, of course, are gonna feature half pipes. I mean, they gotta show off the new gimmicks of this game somehow. Which, I think these are fun gimmicks. I don't think they're getting in the way of anything. But I think that... Wow. Yeah, that's the thing. This game is gonna have a lot of items. I mean, it makes sense considering that this is the first Mario Kart game to have 12 players, so of course there's gonna be more items going about than in previous Mario Kart games. But I think it's just kind of ridiculous in this one. It makes winning the tracks much more luck heavy than they need to be. Or actually, I don't know about that. It is Mario Kart. It's a pretty casual game, all things considered. Of course, I think some luck will make it a lot more fun, especially to have it, you know, more catered to all players, not just skilled ones. And there we go. On to the next race. Which is Wario's Gold Mine, where you pretty much get to drive on a rail track. As we're gonna have to dodge some mine carts. And we even got a half pipe on the left. I always hated this track as a kid. I think because this just isn't a great track for beginners because of how so much the track lacks guardrails, along with the next area where we enter the gold mine itself. You gotta watch out for those bats. With those mine carts you see, they're actually going to be on the track itself in a little bit, and they can be pretty difficult to dodge. Not only that, but if you fail to dodge them and run into them, you'll be spun out for quite a while. Your car will actually kind of flip out rather than spin out. So yeah, there's two different paths to take in this part. And so that I just saw was the blooper, where pretty much using it will affect all players ahead of you, to where it'll pretty much squirt ink onto your screen to where you won't be able to see for a limited amount of time. Now you may be wondering, how does that affect computer players? It'll actually it'll slow down specifically computer players, so I guess that's kind of useful. And it was introduced in the 5th Mario Kart game, Mario Kart DS. Okay, apparently my red shell apparently defeated that bat. I did not know you could do that. Interesting. Down I go. Yeah, and that's pretty much why I did really dislike this track as a kid. Also, by the way, the POW block will only affect players that are on the ground. If you're in the air and the POW block goes off, you will not be affected at all. So that's kind of cool. I don't know why you'd want to use the half pipe on the left when I'm pretty sure that would just slow you down. Maybe it's there to trick you. Who knows? Well, it ain't working on me, I can tell you that. I guess we'll take the alternate path where we get some speed boost, which is kind of nice. And there we go. He sure is. With a time of 2 minutes and 59 seconds. With a perfect score of 60 points. We could skip this cutscene, by the way. You don't have to watch this whole thing. There's nothing really exclusive about it, of like, in terms of like animations of the characters and stuff. It's the same when they emote whenever you win a race. However, this screen actually has some exclusive stuff with a victory animation for each character, like Luigi's there. Which we wouldn't be able to see if we were to skip this, if we were to skip the whole cutscene. And there we go, we got a rank of 2 gold stars for the 50cc Flower Cup. And we now are able to play the 50cc Star Cup. You won trophies in the 50cc Mushroom and Flower Cup. There we go.